I've seen the Justice League trailer. Here are my thoughts. Now, before I get into the trailer, I thought I'd talk about my background as a Batman fan since the beginning, really, of my life. My earliest memories are of the reruns of the 60s show, and I loved the 60s film as a kid. I find it a lot of fun as an adult growing up. And I grew up with all the Warner Brothers Batman films to date. Batman 1989 blew me away as a kid. I fucking loved that film. Batman Returns was my favourite film growing up. Loved Michael Keaton in the role. He's still my favourite Batman. Batman Forever was my first Batman cinema trip. And I was a little disappointed. Well, I was a lot disappointed with that film. But I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, but it's definitely a step down from Batman and Batman Returns. Batman Forever I went to see over 20 years ago, can't believe it. I feel so old now. But I went to see that when I was 9 in July or June of that year. And I think I was in disbelief at how bad that film was. Batman and Robin is still the worst Batman film of all time. And I remember waiting a long 8 years for the next Batman film to be released, and it finally did in 2005, the first of the Dark Knight trilogy, Batman Begins. I went to see it twice in the cinema. I think it's one of the best Batman films ever made, for sure. It's up there. The Dark Knight. Now, in the past, I and many others, I think, have overrated this film. It's still a solid film throughout, but I was never a fan of some of the end scenes, particularly the scenes with Batman and the police at the end. I just didn't buy you could take out so many officers when he was climbing up that building to go and combat Heath Ledger's Joker, whom of course was the star of the show. His scenes were all very good. But there was a few scenes in The Dark Knight I thought were quite dull, particularly the ones in Hong Kong. I think I haven't seen a film in a long time. I've got it. I've got all the Batman films. Here they are. 60s classic. My favourite two growing up and still two of the best. My first two cinema trips to see Batman films. Not so good. And of course, the Dark Knight trilogy, which I believe, a lot of people say it peaked with The Dark Knight. I disagree. I think it peaked with Batman Begins because I think overall it's a better film than The Dark Knight. You could say The Dark Knight has some better scenes in it than Batman Begins, particularly with Heath Ledger's Joker, but I think overall Batman Begins I enjoy more. I didn't think The Dark Knight Rises was that great. Now, I was buzzing about it. You can see me on video on here talking about that I was, pleased with The Dark Knight Rises film in 2012, but looking back at it, it really isn't that great of a film, I'm sorry. It's not the worst Batman film ever. I would still give it a 6 out of 10, but I couldn't give it a higher score than that. And I think by the time The Dark Knight Rises was released, it was time for a new director. I think it was time for someone else to take the reins as Batman director. Now, I would show you a copy of Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad. I don't have them because I probably will get them come time, probably perhaps before this Justice League film arrives, and maybe give them a rewatch. But I haven't thought tempted enough to add them to my collection yet because, well, Batman v Superman is not a good movie. Suicide Squad's even worse, I think. The only reason I went to see, well, there's two reasons I went to see it, was to see Ben Affleck's appearances in the Suicide Squad film, which were the best parts, and the Joker, who was one of the worst parts of the film. Joker, I love Jack Nicholson's performance as the Joker in Batman '89. Heath Ledger, legendary performance in The Dark Knight. Um, but is it Jared Leto? I don't even know his name, really, but I'm so behind with actors today. I'm so behind the times with films, but is it Jared Leto, I think? His Joker was very, very forgettable. Now, Harley Quinn was easy on the eye, and she's probably the other only good thing about the film, but it was a bad movie. Uh, and Batman only had a cameo appearance in the film, so it doesn't really count, as a Batman film, but Batman v Superman, he had a starring role in that, and I would say Batman v Superman was the second worst Batman film of all time, only behind Batman and Robin, which has no good qualities about it. Well, at least with Batman and Robin, it doesn't drag on like Batman v Superman did. Batman v Superman, by the time they had a fight together, I just didn't care. Now, I thought Ben Affleck was pretty solid in the role, and he's getting up there as one of my favourite Batmen of all time. I've just, I was never a Superman fan growing up. I was never a Justice League fan growing up, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I'm only seeing these films because Batman's in it, and as a Batman fan growing up, I still like the character. But by the end of that movie, when Doomsday comes into it and all that horrible CGI effects are going on, I was just wanting the film to end so I could enjoy my life again. That's what I was wanting. I'm a fan of the YouTuber Tywin Magnus, quite a big deal in here. I enjoy some of his videos, but I just don't get what he enjoys out of this film, and it has its fans, but I don't get it. Perhaps if I were a Superman fan as well, and a Justice League fan, perhaps I would appreciate it more, but I just didn't think it was a very well made film, and I'm still to get it. Now, on to the Justice League film trailer. Now, like with Batman v Superman, I'm going into this film. I will go and see it because I am a Batman. I've seen all the Batman films, starting with Batman Forever in 1995, and I saw Suicide Squad. So I've seen all the live-action Batman appearances. Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck. I've even seen Adam West in the big screen because I went to see Batman Lego, and the only Batman I haven't seen in the big screen is Michael Keaton. I actually don't think I will, because I don't think he'll be starring in any more Batman films. And he's my favourite, ironically. But this trailer, going into it, I have no expectations going into it. I didn't enjoy Batman v Superman. And now the DC extended films I haven't seen Wonder Woman. I hear it's really good, which is good for it, But I'm not a Wonder Woman fan. I probably never will be. So going into this film, I've got not much expectations. But I want to see it because I want to see the scenes with Batman in it and see how Ben Affleck is in it this time. The James Gordon scenes look good. The Flash looks quite a fun character. Superman obviously is going to return in this film. I don't think anybody believed he was actually dead in the end of Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman just felt like a trailer throughout in it for upcoming DC films. But I thought the dream sequence was fairly well done in this trailer, with Superman in it, Clark Kent. But apart from those scenes and the scenes that Batman's in, with James Gordon and some of the Flash, his lines, it looked like a CGI mess. I'm sorry. I think this will be worse than Batman v Superman. That's my honest opinion. Obviously, I would like it to be a good film because I'm going to see it, and I don't like seeing rubbish in the cinema. But I think this will be, without doubt, the worst film of the year. And there is a part of me that feels like, you know what, Paul, fuck it, don't go and see it. Wait until Batman has a solo adventure in the big screen. Fuck this. But I will go and see it in the cinema, just, to see it for myself. And then, perhaps I will enjoy the film for what it is, but I saw the trailer and I was like, it feels so long ago. I was excited to see a Batman appearance on the big screen. It seems so long ago. I think the last time I was genuinely excited to see Batman on film was The Dark Knight Rises, which I was disappointed in overall after re-watching that film many times. Perhaps I'll be proven wrong, perhaps it'll turn out to be a decent film, but from what I see, and the fact I'm not a Superman fan or Justice League fan, and I'm only going to see it for the Batman in it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the trailer. Tell me if I'm wrong, and if you think it's going to be, a great film. I don't think it's going to be a great film at all. But that's just my opinion. I thought to give you, my thoughts on the Batman franchise of the past two. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll speak to you all again very soon. Actually, before I go, this is for the wrestling fans that watch these videos. Now, I know I promised I'd never talk about the current WWE product again, but I'm going to break that promise for this end of this video, as I did see a GIF of Shane McMahon going through the Hell in a Cell last night. I was up late last night on Twitter. He just looked like a silly old fool on top of that Hell in a Cell, if I'm being honest. It was shocking in 1998 when Mick Foley threw himself off the Hell in a Cell, and it looked awesome. But Shane McMahon's Hell in a Cell moments just looked fake. It looked like it was like a mattress thing underneath the table. It just does not look as good as Mick Foley's bumps. I'm sorry. I know it's higher up and all that, and there's, there is a risk to it, but it just didn't look that great. It looked at another desperate ploy for WWE to bring back fans that they've lost, like me. So I only seen a GIF of the Hell in a Cell. I didn't even realise it was on last night until I seen Twitter. That's how much I keep up to date with the WWE product these days. I see Jinder Mahal still champion. Fucking hell, WWE, are you really trying to draw even more of your fans away? You've already lost a lot of fans this year, but good God almighty. When are they going to turn things around? I don't think they will. I don't think I'll ever be a watcher of the WWE product again. I don't think I'll watch Survivor Series. I sometimes watch it, and I won't be watching WrestleMania 4 if it's headlined by Roman Reigns v Brock Lesnar. I won't be watching. Anyways, I'm rambling on again and going off topic, talking about WWE. I'll give my thoughts on what I did see of Hell in a Cell. Alright, take care, folks.